Alright, these two are what we're going to be talking about today. Now, this is going to be a multi-part video because I do have another 20 CV Manix and another Deka to test. Started doing this, didn't want the video to be too terribly long, so that's where two parts are coming in. This is part one. This is my skinny Wharncliffe Deka, the first one that I did. And 20 CV Manix. This belongs to Mike. I will leave his link to his Instagram page in the description. Go and check out what he does with different sharpening, things like that. This is what we're talking about. How well are either of these done? Now, I haven't done really much of any other Spyderco 20 CV, not anything that I put on the channel anyway. Hogue, on the other hand, done a few of those already. Still don't quite know where they fall as in how they do. Like, is there anything in common with how the different 20 CV from Hogue performs? So that's what I'm hoping to maybe find out about, since I did run two different RSKs in 20 CV with drastically different results. And the early M390 RSK that I ran kind of fell smack in between those two. So, get the cutting out of the way real quick, and then we'll come back and talk about these and how they did. Now that we got through that cutting real quick, like I said, this is my knife. And in anticipation for testing, I did go ahead and use it. I used up the factory edge, then 3 more edges on it. Around the house, at work. I have had enough of the drop point Deka in to know the geometry on the Warncliffe is a fair bit better. This particular knife is around 15 thousandths on this front grind, and it's like 17 and a half back on this smaller back portion of the grind. Passes through materials nicely. Did kind of sense the performance was picking up as I went through different edges with it. And then the Manix, like any other one, you know, it's like 20, 21, 22 thousandths behind the edge, somewhere in there, depending on where you measure. I did go ahead and cut with this one just to cut. Wasn't sure how many edges had been put on it. I don't remember if I had asked Mike or not. I have so many loaners at this point. I can't keep track of how many times what had been sharpened. So once I did find out, I knew that with what I had put on it, what Mike had put on it, it was good. I felt like this one was going to do all right in testing. In use, it cut a good bit more than I was expecting, and that's comparing it to the not so good 20 CV and M390 that I have tested. I don't know how many I've tested at this point. I'd have to go back and count my spreadsheet, but I know it is in somewhere in the 70, 75 different examples or more. And that will be coming up in a video soon. I think I finally have enough of these tested to be able to talk pretty widely about how M390, 20 CV, and 204P are done. So we'll go ahead and get to the results now. Mike did have this tested by Kurt. That was a year ago, maybe more. I don't remember. I did know that all of these that have been tested, even the few that have been tested that never made it on Kurt's channel, are all close to 61. The Manix at least anyway. So like I said, I put a couple edges on this along with what Mike did. It was ready to go. Went ahead and tested it, and I got 193 feet fine edge, another 113 feet working edge, for a total of 306 feet. I wasn't sure what to expect. Like I said, did a little bit above what I was kind of expecting. Sharpened it again, everything the same way, same angle, same grit. Ran it again to verify it, and on that test I got 190 feet fine edge, 121 feet working edge, for a total of 311 feet. So solid example of 20 CV from Spyderco. Now, keep in mind, Steve has tested some 20 CV PM2s from Spyderco. Kurt has had quite a few in for the hardness. Those are generally in the 58 and low to mid 59 range for a hardness. This particular one was 60.8, which you go back and look at the Catra PM2 for the M390. It was a little over a half a point softer than this, and you can see just what a difference that little bit of hardness makes, combined with many other things. I'm going to get to that in the 20 CV M390 204p video. So great example right here. And then on to the Deka. The RSKs I've run, when I say one was low, it was low like S35VN kind of performance. I believe 145 or so total feet cut in a 1-inch section. Where the other Deka that I ran, the other RSK that I ran that was 61.5, it did in the 240s, so about 100 feet more than that. That's the spread I'm looking at so far in Hogue 20 CV. Since this is mine, I knew it had more than enough edges. On the fourth edge, I went ahead and started testing. 141 feet fine edge, 121 feet working edge, for a total of 262 feet. Not bad at all. That is a little bit more than I was expecting out of this from how it did in use. Keep in mind that was on the first, second, and third edge that was put on this knife. Went about it the same way to verify it, and on that test, 142 feet fine edge, 118 feet working edge, for a total of 260 feet. I have no idea what the hardness on this is. I don't plan on sending much more stuff out to get hardness tested. At this point, had enough of them tested that, as I've explained it before, in relation to racing, your hardness is a number. You can get any number, and that doesn't mean a whole lot of anything until you take it out and use it. Then how does it do? Just like your trap speed doesn't lie, the cutting from this gives a much bigger picture of how the heat treat was done, how the microstructure is, regardless of the hardness of the steel. You've seen that with Riot and Shirogorov. 60 on the nose over multiple tests, and both of those did 380 to 400 feet in a 1-inch section. How's the other Deka gonna do? I don't know. I haven't run it yet. All I've done is prep it, and I can't say. Like I said, I expected this to do less than what it actually did, so I was a little surprised. So I can't really guess on that one. All of these have tested between 60.6 and 60.8. The one I have left to test has not been, the hardness has not been checked. It's another one. I'm not going to send it out. This is part one. At the end of part 2, I will talk about how both of each example did. And hopefully, I will be able to get some more examples of 20 CV from Hogue and get an idea of how their average performance is. Is it all going to be low? Are these ones that are cutting in the mid 200s? Are they kind of standouts from the rest? That I don't know. Over time, though, I will get enough examples to test, and we will be able to find out. So if you guys have any questions, comments, anything, you know the drill. Put it down below. You don't like my video, you're part of the thumbs down crew, give it a thumbs down. Awesome. Love it. See how many thumbs down we can get. That's all I have. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.